Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening,
How
Coach.
has our Sunday been? And welcome to today's class.
It's been well, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we're here today again. So, the other one, we already used to ourselves. Okay, so today our course objective is to our understanding from yesterday, introduce modern trends and technologies in employee lifecycle management, equip us with actionable strategies and templates for implementation, foster critical analysis of the work case studies, and assign hands-on activity to apply concepts in practice. Okay, so our content is evolving trend in ELC is employee lifecycle management, by the way. Implementation strategies and templates, why is employee lifecycle important, application of theories in HRM related to ELC, interactive activity, multiple choice. Again, why are we trying to understand human resource management? It's because having good talent people in the organization was important yesterday, but it is critical today. So that we are not just recruiting and recruiting upon recruiting. It's critical that we have good to start the class. Life cycle management. Employee life cycle Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, I just hope we're not going to have issues. My network went off, changed it to another one. Let's pray. Not work. Apologies for that. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying the world of work keeps evolving, and that is why we need to evolve. You know,
It's breaking now. I can't hear you well. It's breaking now.
looking at evolving trends, we are basically managing the employee. Okay, and now from you guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
I need to be sure that you guys can hear me. I'm not getting response from anybody, so I need to know. Oh, okay.
Okay, I
Juliet has
can hear you,
answered.
but your network is fluctuating. I have a noisy background, but I can hear you. But I noticed that your network is fluctuating.
Oops. Okay. Let me change my location. So is it better now? Is it any better?
Yes, it is better now.
Okay. So we can proceed. One is employer branding in the digital age. So basically what that means is you leveraging social media and employee advocacy programs. Those are trends that we're beginning to see. We're beginning to have recruitment marketing where you have to market your brand if you want people to work for you. So those are evolving trends in the employee life cycle management. For you to attract talent, for you to want to make people to be interested in your organization, you have to market your organization to them. So that's a trend that we're beginning to see. Then we're beginning to see AI and automation in recruitment evolve, where you have to use tools for talent acquisition. And again, to reduce bias because they're just random tools that you're using to do your selection. It's not like you're seeing the person's face and, oh, I don't like this person's face. I don't want to recruit this person. Then, of course, the hybrid onboarding model where you can onboard somebody virtually or in person, then we are beginning to see trend in continuous learning platforms, role of microlearning and AI in professional development, where we have LMS where people can you see that for our employee experience, where we survey people, pulse survey, mental health programs, and customized benefits. People are beginning to want more beyond pay. They're beginning to want more beyond their take home. Yes, they need money to take them home, but they want to see what else can you add to the cash. That's why we have benefit in kind now. So we're beginning to see online network and maintaining employer reputation. When people exit your organization, when people no longer when there's separation, it doesn't mean that you no longer talk to these people. They basically become alumni, like they have graduated from your organization to another organization. So they are there speaking for your brand. We're beginning to see that. Like I did mention yesterday, there are some place of work where you're going to see people that have left there, recommend them highly for people to work in. Do we get that? I'd like to know that we're good. Is everything going fine from your end? Can you hear me clearly? So that we can proceed.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're just going to start by having some discussions. In our organization, from what I have said, we're beginning to see some changes in how things are done in organization, how you have to show your brand out there. So I would like to start the class by hearing from you. Have you noticed these trends? Which emerging trend in employee life cycle management, resonate with your organizational goal and why? Like, okay, in the employee life cycle I mentioned, think resonates with your organization. And why do you think it resonates with your organization? For example, is it employer branding in the digital age that resonates with your organization? Is it AI automation and recruitment? Is it hybrid? Like, which one do you think? And why do you think it resonates with your organization? So, no particular order, like I said, the class is not large, we're just three. So anybody can speak first. So who's going first?
Good afternoon. Can I go first? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Good afternoon, ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So
Good afternoon.
I was going to
My name
ask.
is Irene, actually. Yes.
Okay, so I want to answer the question. So for my own organization is the employer branding in the digital age. So we do a lot of branding on our social media pages, and we do a lot of activities online. One other thing we also do in my own organization is we try to bring out ourselves as an organization that is conducive for employees in terms of flexible workspace. You can We do a lot of hybrid work from home, maybe 2 times in a week, and then we push it out front too on our social media pages, and then we also put out employees different activities. So beyond the organization, what are the employees achievements? So when, like for example, an employee gets an award within like our association, we put it on our social media pages so that they can see that beyond working for the organization also supports you to be a better version of yourself. And that also tells on the brand of the organization that it's a good place to work, because you will also be working for the company and you can also develop yourself professionally too. Thank you.
Thank you. I've seen um hybrid sort of method in your organization, right? That resonates with you guys.
Yes.
So where is going? Where is going? So from what we have, which one resonates with your organization? It's only one person. One must resonate with you now. We are three in class, so all of us, it's only Bumi that has answered me.
Sorry, please, can you permit me for now? My background is very noisy. But the little I can say is what we have on ground is employee branding in the digital age. I know that we are working on that.
Oh, all right. So is Aisha ready? What picture was it? Okay, so
I
what proceed
just
so that we don't
answered. I
waste
was the
time
one
on
that just
this?
answered now.
Two people have
I said,
spoken,
please
right?
permit me. My background is noisy.
One of us is in a noisy background. Okay,
I
so
just answered now. I was the one that
evolving
answered that
trend in
what we do is
employee lifecycle
employer
management.
branding in the digital age. And I cannot say much because my
Yes,
background is
that's what I'm
noisy.
saying,
Please
that
permit me for today.
no problem. No problems. Okay, so building a strong social media presence. Those are, like I did mention, the first one is we're beginning to see that you have to market yourself. It's like you have to sell your company. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me now? I just saw Bumi's message.
Yes, I can hear you now. I think you muted your mic.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I'm saying we're beginning to see that company pages like Facebook pages, LinkedIn pages, Instagram pages, we see content on company pages. It's not because they just want to share content. That's part of employee lifecycle management. That's part of them building their employer brand in the case of attraction, because it is when those you want to attract know your brand, that's when they are interested in working for you. Like I mentioned yesterday, they want to put, when we see some vacancies, we'll just walk up past because we don't know them. That's why you would see a vacancy and you see people coming to want to verify that, does anybody know this organization? Because they don't have a footprint anywhere. They've never seen them anywhere, you know. So I'm saying part of the trend that is evolving in employee lifecycle management is that we have to put ourselves out there. We have to build our online presence, you know. We have to show that, we have to let people, like, give people an inside peek into our organization. So I said, for you to do that, you have to develop a content strategy. And in your content strategy, you want to share valuable content that are related to your audience. Every organization has an audience. Every organization has those they are targeting, you know. So you want to share, for example, industry news, tips, success stories on behind the scene of your organization and all that. And you use a mix of formats, posts, videos, stories, or live session. That's why you would see some organization, you see their MDs either doing a thought leader series, you know, or they just basically create something to drive engagement on their page. Then two, you showcase company culture by highlighting team achievements, behind the scenes moments, and events to make your organization relatable and authentic. So people want to see. It's just like when as individuals we want to market ourselves, we have to put things that are authentic, things that will make people know us, things that would put our face to our brand. It's the same thing with organizations. You want to showcase what the organization culture is like. You want to tell people this is how we do things here, these are the kind of things we do here. So those are things that drive engagement on your social media platform and gives you exposure, you know, like put you out there, gives you a presence on the internet. So you also use analytics, because it's not enough for you to just create content or just have a social media handle. You want to use analytics. And that's why most organizations have social media people. Either they have a social media department or they have a digital marketer or something. So that are skilled in using analytics. So it's not everybody that can do it. So you want to use analytics to track engagement metrics like comments, shares, to understand what resonates with your audience and refine your strategy. So again, in one of my organizations, I have a full department dedicated to social media. We look at the share analytics with us. We look at how we are doing in our posts. We look at where we are doing better. We discover that some posts are doing better on Twitter, some are doing better on LinkedIn. So if you don't track these things, you might not know where you are where to really focus your energy on. But most importantly, why you are tracking analytics is for you to understand that you're not wasting your time just posting. No, the idea of you posting is to build an employer brand, to have a social media presence. So you must check to ensure that you are having that presence. And that's why the use of analytics is very important in building a strong social media presence. Then another trend we're seeing is to create employee advocacy program. So in creating an employee advocacy program, you define clear goals. Like, okay, you want to create an advocacy program. What is your objective? You know, if there's no objective, there is no way you're going to create a program. So you set specific objectives such as maybe increasing brand awareness, attracting talent, or boosting sales. So if you are going to create an employee advocacy program, what is your objective? That's Then you train employees. You provide guidelines and you know how to align their content with your brand values. And just insist that your social media and you must use it to post company post or company message. No. The thing is you can educate people. Like you have to like train them, you guide them, even if they are doing their personal thing, they can actually, because they work there, just post something about the organization. We're not saying force people to do it. And in you even wanting them to post things about the organization, you don't just wake up and tell them go and post this. No, you must train them on how to do it so that the message they are putting is aligning with the content of your brand and the values that you guys are proposing. You know, again, you don't just tell them they must post about the organization. You provide shareable content, like supply employees with pre-approved engagement, engaging content like articles, job openings, or industry insight that they can easily share. Okay, so my social media department, like I said, one I've worked with, before a content is posted, they bring it to us in HR. We review and we agree. We review and we agree that, oh, it's good to go. It resonates with what we want to do. It's okay, you know. So that way, you are sure that everybody is in alignment. Everybody is we are working towards the same goal. It's not like somebody thinks this is what we are doing, another person thinks this is what we are doing. No, we have a goal and we're working together as an organization to achieve it. And you are supporting by using your personal social media handle. Some people are not comfortable with it, some are, but whatever it is, there must be a way of convincing them. Encouraging them and not forcing people, because some organization force people really. It's their personal handle. But you can just encourage them so that people can Please, can you hear me? My network threw me out. I have to change another network. Let's hope this one will be better.
Hear you.
Okay. So I was saying incentive participation. While we're saying we should encourage our people to post company content, we're also not forcing them, you know. So you can have a plan in place where you recognize and reward employees who actively advocate for company, either through gamification, bonuses, or public acknowledgement. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be you put, it can just be, you just create an initiative, like you can have ambassador of the month or being the company's ambassador. You can just create something just to reward people, just to motivate them, because motivation is key. We all do things for a reason. But you see, I've realized that organizations that force their people to, you must post company content. You work here. I think somebody once told me that they were forced to start doing status with company, whatever. I'll just block you from viewing my status. But it's my phone. But if you give me company phone, an Android phone, we have a company WhatsApp, and you gave me a phone, you can force me because it's company's property to do status. But on my personal line, you want me to do status, you have to be persuasive about it. So those are the things that we're beginning to see, even though some companies are entering into it the wrong way by forcing their people to post content because they want to be out there, because they want to build employer brand. We are saying be deliberate about it, be strategic about it. As much as you're providing them content to share, you're not going to. I think I've even heard someone where they gave somebody a query, giving something to share, and they said, excuse me. You know, people, that can even be a way of pushing people out of your company to just increase your attrition rate, but they'll just keep quiet and complain until they get somewhere where they will not be forced to use their personal life as if they don't have it themselves, you know. So in creating employee advocacy program, the whole idea is set clear goals, train employee, them with content, and again, incentivize their participation. Let them know that they're going to get something to it. Not bribe, but at least a motivation. Okay, so foster authentic employee voice. You know, like I said, the reason why we're encouraging people to post is we want to show people that we have real world people working in the organization. We want to show people that, okay, the organization does just not exist in a vacuum. People actually work there, because when you post about you working in an organization, you know, people get to know that the organization exists. So they won't even need to go far to go and start asking, like we see on most of our platforms, does anybody know this company? You know that you see their presence. So how do you foster authentic employee voices? You encourage personal stories. You know, employees sharing their personal experience at work. You know, they are more relatable than scripted corporate messages. When somebody can come randomly, you know, say their experience about how they work there. We know that it could be scripted, but somehow there are ways that you could just have employees share their real life experience, maybe at an event or something. You know, just these interviews, maybe your company has an event, they're interviewed, what's the big thing about working here, you know? You post it there, people get to have an idea of what working in your organization is. You empower subject matter experts. You let employees showcase their so that it positions them and your company as thought leaders. So you can have a program in place where you're building thought leadership among your employees, and you post it. So they sort of share their thoughts, share their ideas about the subject matter, and you know, and over time, you realize that the people that work in your organization and celebrate advocacy wins. You share success stories of how employee advocacy has led to meaningful outcomes, such as new clients, partnerships, or hires. So that way, It's like you're showing people. The whole essence is that while you're building a social media presence, you are showing that you're not faking it. This thing is for real. You have real people working in your organization. So, of course, how do you do this? You leverage social media tools, employee advocacy platforms like LinkedIn, Elevate. There's Hootsuite. Hootsuite, those in marketing, really digital. Yeah, those in marketing we used to Hootsuite. Then there's everyone social. It's not very common. I don't think we have really embraced it in Nigeria. So, all these social employee platforms, professional platforms, there's Reddit, there's Medium, there are a lot of them like that. I just put some few examples, they make it, you can follow, it's like your employees blogging, so you can follow their trend, you can follow their story, so you're able to measure their efforts, then you're able to engage in two-way communication. You reply to comments, you reshare employee posts, and highlight their contribution publicly to build trust and community. So basically, when an employee that works somewhere says something, it's just like the way we do it on LinkedIn, where somebody posts something, you're going there to comment, you're going there to reshare it. You're so fascinated about what person has posted, So that's how we leverage social media too, social listening. Monitor what people and employee are saying about your brand online to address concerns and identify opportunities for improvement. So those are some of the trends that are evolving. Then, of course, you want to measure and optimize results. All this story is basically because you are building employer brand. The whole idea is that you want to put your brand out there. You want people to know your organization. You want people to know what your organization stands for. And how do you do that? It's by being on social media, because you can't reach everybody at the same time. But almost everybody is on social media. So that's the fastest way to build an employer brand. So you want to measure and optimize results. How do you measure and optimize results? You track KPIs. So you measure your reach, engagement, clicks, and conversions driven by employee posts versus company accounts. Again, the social media guys, that's why whether you have a full-time social media department or full-time social media employee, it makes sense to have somebody to drive the social media handle, a dedicated person, so that the person is able to do all this tracking and all this analytics for you. So when you track your KPIs, you want to see how your clicks are doing. I remember when I track KPI, I discovered that some posts, video posts, have more clicks on Instagram. There's some kind of posts that have more clicks, retweets on Twitter. Every platform have what gives them their engagement. So that's why you're tracking. So if you don't track your key performance indicators, how would you know what post is performing better in what platform? So the whole idea of why you're tracking it, you want to see what post is performing better in what platform. Then you want to collect feedback. So regularly you ask employees for input on the programs, ease of use, and content relevance. So there are times that when I'm creating a social media strategy, I actually talk to people. I talk to every department. I ask people, this post on Instagram, how do you think it's doing? This post on LinkedIn, how do you think it's doing? Some they didn't relate. So that way you're able to rejig your content, iterate your approach, use insights to refine your content strategy, advocacy tools, and employee engagement tactics. So you create a sustainable advocacy culture. Make it voluntary, like I said. Don't force anybody and say, oh, because you want them to be. Advocacy is voluntary. I must be willing, I must be ready to want to speak for you. You can't force me to speak for you. Forget that you're paying my salary, forget that I work there. But of course, as much as we want the people to do it, we just have to be strategic about it. So advocacy program works best when employees participate because they believe in the company, not because not because they are forced. Your employees should want to talk about your company online. or on social media platforms because they believe in where they're working, not because they are forced to do it. Because to have a ripple effect, especially when they have left your. If you read some reviews on Glassdoor, you'll be like, what? So we want to avoid things like that because, like I said yesterday, even after offboarding, you need the guys that have left the organization to speak for your organization. So you have to keep that relationship. So again, to align with core values, you reinforce how the program ties to your organization mission, vision, and values. So for your advocacy culture to be sustainable, you have to constantly reinforce it to align, let it not derail from the original plan. It's just like when we create WhatsApp groups and we say this WhatsApp group is for so reason. You see some people who shall do the wrong thing, and do the wrong thing and do the wrong thing. And if any admin of any WhatsApp platform is here, I'm sure you can relate. And you're like, come on, So you want to ensure that as much as I'm saying post on social media, it is aligning with the original plan. Don't deviate from the original plan. The original plan that we have has been communicated. So you must always check that it is aligning with it. Again, celebrate milestones. So you want to organize fun events or initiative to keep employees engaged in the group over the long period. So this is like employee engagement program. Hello, can we hear me? Then be sure I'm not talking. If your background is noise, no problem. Just drop me a chat. Okay, Juliet has responded. Okay. Oh, great. Olubumi, so we are good. I just need to be sure we are good. Those on the network wanted to do nobody for anybody for us. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I must have said this in the course of my talk. Like I did say, I most times don't follow my slide by slide because I already know what I'm going to say. So I must have mentioned it, but I'm going to say it again because we're on the slide. So benefits of social media and employee advocacy, it increases our brand. That's what we have been saying. It's about building employer brand. That amplifies. Employees can help us to amplify content to reach new audience. That's why I'm saying we have to encourage our people, not force them. I like to always drum on that. We're not forcing people to, but we're appealing to their conscience. We're trying to make them see reasons why they should post. And again, if your organization is bad, you can't force people to post. Go and clean your image before they go and tag them to the organization. Okay. So enhanced employer branding, we want to showcase happy employees that attract top talent. Because if I see that some people that work in company A are happy, so why would I want to go to company A? So, and again, it will boost trust and credibility. People trust employee voices more than corporate ads. Forget corporate ads, yes, I paid people to do the jingles for me. I paid people to put the billboard. The corporate ad is what my organization wants to tell people that they are telling people. But the thing is, when people hear from your employees, they're like, for their employee to agree to come and talk about them on social media, they must be credible. It sort of boosts trust and credibility in your brand. Improve the engagement. Employees feel more connected and involved in company success. Some people like to see their faces on their company page. It sort of boosts their confidence. So, implementation strategies. All this employer branding that we've been talking about, the kind of things you can do to create employer brands is what we have spoken about. So there are some unique selling points or selling propositions. They are called unique selling proposition, USP. It's a concept that communicates and identifies the compelling benefit of a specific organization or brand. while you're building social media presence, while you're building your online presence, you have a message you're communicating, and that message is your unique selling proposition. This is what you're selling to people. This is what is unique about your organization. So its purpose is to set the company apart from competitors, particularly in the mind of consumers. But beyond the selling advantage that a strong USP can provide, crafting one can also play a role in recruiting efforts. So it's a two-way thing. While you are putting a unique selling proposition out there, you are marketing your organization's business. Like I mentioned in our introduction to HRM, I said, regardless of the nomenclature they give your regardless of the name they call your position, whether HR assistant, HR manager, team lead, head of people and culture, whatever. The truth of the matter is we are business partners. Ties up to the overall business objective. As far as I am concerned, like I always say, I am driving the most important part of the business, because the people, if they don't execute the strategies, the business is going to survive. You know, so as we're putting a unique selling point out there, we're not just selling the brand for when we want to for our recruitment efforts. We're also selling what the business is selling. Quickly, an organization's unique selling proposition should include the following components: the unique benefit offered by the brand, including what makes its product or services different from others. Because when you want people to know your company, we're building employer brand, don't forget. If I want to my company, what service do we offer? What product do we sell? Or what product do we manufacture? You know, the relevant messaging that speaks to the target audience, like we have mentioned before, addressing their specific wants and needs and explaining why the brand matters. So if I am putting a message out there, talking to my target audience, I'm addressing their specific wants and needs. Then I want to tell them what my brand matters, like why my brand matters. Differentiation that helps the brand stand out from competitors. And those are messages that help you to build your unique selling point. You know, language that makes it memorable, not that you just say it and it doesn't stick. You know, easy to remember and simple to understand. Support for any claims made, such as social media proof of or evidence, to strengthen brands, to strengthen brand trust and credibility among those who read it. That is why sometimes when people come to, that's why some organizations, they don't want to be dragged on social media. I once worked in an organization where my MD would rather have an issue with a fellow company and not an individual. A case study of Choma and Erisco. So you don't want individuals dragging you on social media. So even when they say something negative about you, you want to do damage control, you know, on social media. Those are part of the things that one should look out for. You have to have things that support your claims, the claims that you make. Okay, if somebody has come to say, in the case of Choma and Erisco, Choma said the sugar in whatever was too much. See, tomorrow you've not been able to prove to us whether the sugar is too much or not. You know, instead of fighting the person, you want to, if you can even get the person to become your ambassador, you know, incorporating your US and get the word out about what you're trying to achieve. So when you incorporate your USP in a consistent manner, you are saying the same thing continuously. You're saying it over and over again. You know, it will reinforce your unique positioning. And before you know it, people are helping you to say what you have said. And before you know it, you are achieving better reach because you have been consistent with the message you have put out there. I don't know, who have any questions around you? Or I should proceed.
No question.
Okay, thank you. I'm also using to check that we're good. We're here. It's a chat. Let me see what it is. Okay, no question, Julia. All right, thank you. So we move. Okay, so we've been talking about employer value proposition and unique selling proposition. So now we want to look at the differences because we need to understand all these concepts in our employee lifecycle management. It's going to help us a great deal. We need to understand all these concepts. Okay, so finding and bringing top talent can feel like a full-time job. In fact, it's a full-time job now. I don't know, maybe I'm the one. I don't like recruitment. That's it. I like to do strategic HR. For me, finding and bringing top talent is a full-time job, especially in a competitive labor market. I don't know about other industries, but I can speak for tech, oil and gas, health. I have friends. So recruitment in those industries, they are full-time job. Like it's like they should just employ you to be different from others in your industry. It's establishing unique selling proposition, like we spoke in the previous slide. You have put out a message out there, and you have been consistent about it, telling us why your brand, you know. So you want to explore the meaning of unique selling proposition and its purposes, especially in the recruiting process. Ultimately, an EVP outlines what you offer as an employer. Why the USP, EVP employer value proposition, why the USP, a unique selling proposition, defines what the company provides to its customers. So like I said, in building an employer brand, you need to put a USP out there. People need to know your company for what your company does, value proposition, because people, some of the people that you're going to recruit into your organization, directly or indirectly, would be they're your clientele, basically. So if they were not going to work for your organization, they were going to buy your service or buy your product at some point. So it's a two-way thing. As much as you are building a USP, it's also enhancing your EVP. The only difference is that EVP outlines what you offer as an employer. This is what we're offering you if you work for us. While your USP defines what your company provides to customer, this is what we are providing to you for being our client. So that is the difference between the two. But the two go hand in hand, like I've said. Modern recruitment efforts require both of them to be hand in hand because it is your USP that has put your company out there. And it is from your USP that somebody is going to get to see that, okay, this organization, this is what they do, I'm sure. You're able to sell to them what your organization can also offer to those that are working for you. You get me? So the two, they go hand in hand. As over 80% of employees are looking for jobs that align with their personal values, jobs can be look at what you claim to offer as the employer, as well as your statement around what your organization offers to its target audience. So that's why they go hand in hand. Well, if you say you're offering good services, fantastic experience to your clients, of course, they want to weigh that. If you're going to provide fantastic experience, for example, you're selling service, and you want to provide fantastic experience to your clients, definitely you're going to treat your people well because you need them to provide fantastic service to your clients. So these are the things that people are going to weigh. Okay, so if this is what you're offering your client, you need me to come and offer what you're offering to clients. That means you're going to treat me well. So that's how both of them tie together. They are different, but they go hand in hand. Okay, so I have some template here. I'm going to drop the templates on the WhatsApp group. It's just for us to run through. So this is There are loads of templates, but this is just it that you can build at attraction stage. Now life cycle management, it starts from attraction. Excuse me. So for you to, all that we have been saying, at attraction stage, for you to have your employer brand out there, there are some templates that you must stick to or that you have to use, in your own, is a tool, a work tool for yourself. Like, okay, as an HR, you want to do employer branding, what would you be required to do? So here is just a sample template. Introduction, like I said, clearly define the goals of your employer branding initiative, e.g. why are you building employer brand? Is it to attract top talent? Is it to retain employees? Is it to improve company reputation? That must be clearly stated. You must identify, and again, you are not going to identify this alone. Of course, the management anyway, because you understand your business strategy, because you understand your business strategy, you're also able to know what message you want to put out there, why you want to put the message out there. Is it to attract employees? Is it to retain? Is it to retain employees? Is it to improve company reputation? I'm sorry, I need to put my phone on silent. Then target audience. You have to identify your key. You have to identify your key audience segments. You have to identify your key audience segment, job seekers, current employees, alumni, and all that. Then in the second part, employer value proposition. Employer value proposition, you want to craft a concise and compelling EVP that highlights what makes your company unique and why employees will want to work with you. Focus on benefits, culture, growth, opportunities, and work-life balance. And in employer value proposition, there are some key elements that you want to look at. You want to look at mission, vision, and value, compensation and benefits, career development opportunities, workplace culture and diversity, social impact initiatives. Then online presence audit. Of course, you want to check your website, corporate website, evaluate your career page, ensure it is visually appealing, easy to navigate, and showcase your EVP. Because sometimes you go to some websites, they're looking for their career page. Like, you basically don't understand the website. So you want to ensure that your website is okay, with the right features, is friendly, especially mobile friendly, in fact. Mobile friendly, because most times we open websites on our phones, and some websites are actually not mobile friendly. From social media audit. So you want to audit your LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms to assess engagement, brand alignment, and consistency. These are just templates to help you. It's good that you have this template handy so that it helps you in your employer branding. So content gaps, you want to identify missing elements such as employee story, behind the scene content, or videos that showcase your workplace. Content strategy, employee testimonials. You feature authentic stories, videos, and quotes from employees sharing their experiences. Day in the life content, like you can highlight a typical day at work in your organization, sort of how a typical role, looks in your organization. So when you are able to use this to build your presence, it helps your attraction. It helps people to be interested in working for your organization because you're able to sort of display or mirror what your organization is in a nutshell, or just tips of the iceberg of the organization. Okay, so here is also a worksheet for unique selling proposition. So basically, you also want to identify, you want to say your purpose, you want to define your core values. Example would be mission to promote sustainable. If you want to promote sustainable living, of course, you have to be innovative. So things like that, and you don't just say this is your mission and your core value. There has to be evidence where employees are encouraged to submit new ideas through monthly innovation challenge. You could just create something. It just requires us to be creative, you know. So then this template, of course, we have what you are trying to define, then your mission, put your answer there, your vision, your core value. When you create templates like this, it just helps your initiative. So you just basically go to it and take it step by step, and like that. So we're at recruitment stage. What that we've been saying has been at attraction stage. Yesterday we just briefly ran through employee lifecycle management. We looked at when it starts and when it ends. So, like I mentioned, we're delving deeper today. This module 2, we're looking at the things that we are required to do to make the experience worth the while. Because the whole idea of why we are managing employee life cycles, we want to make their experience with our organization worth the while, especially for business continuity. I like to always emphasize that, because when you're not able to retain your people, it affects business security. It affects business continuity, because you're basically it affects the speed of the organization. So if you're going 2 steps forward, it's like you're taking a step backward, because you need to train the new person that you have brought. And it can be frustrating. So we're looking at tools and techniques in the recruitment. Of course, of employee lifecycle management is critical. So ensuring that the right talent is brought into the organization. Screening tools and techniques are employed to efficiently and effectively evaluate candidates. That's to ensure that there's alignment with organizational needs and job requirements. So I have these tools and techniques used in this recruitment stage. So one, at recruitment stage, definitely we need screening tools. So screening tools, it's not all organizations that use ATS. That's when we review CVs manually or using ATS. The purpose of screening or the purpose of using ATS is to automate initial screening of resume by filtering candidates based on keywords, qualification, and job requirements. Advantage of using ATS, of course, it saves time. It standardizes the screening process and reduces human error. Sometimes we just look at how some CV is written or how it's structured, and it can even put you off. But an ATS qualified candidate due to orderly rigid filtering criteria. This one I experienced it. There are some CVs that owners of the CV are they are not talented. It's not like the owners of the CV, like they just don't know how to represent themselves in paper. Now that's one of the limitations when it's like the CV. When you give the best, but Wow. I just saw your message. Okay, so I'm going back to psychometric skill and assessment. So the purpose of psychometric and skill assessment tool is to measure candidates' cognitive ability. We're using it to test their personality. That's why most organizations, especially multinationals, they conduct psychometric tests. You hear people say they are writing also on PwC tests, KPMG tests. They are aptitude tests to check the person's aptitude, how the person will perform. It tests the person's personality skills, the personality traits, and job specific skills. That's basically what psychometric and skill assessment does. Limitation, it requires proper validation and interpretation by trained professionals, because it's not everybody that can come and interpret a psychometric test, or everybody that can use skill assessment. So overview of screening tool continues. So now, background checks. We do this in recruitment. The purpose of background check is to verify candidates' employment history, education, criminal records, and credit report. There are some organizations that before you join them, they will check all these records. They go to prisons, they go everywhere to get your record, to see if you have a record there. That's for them to know who you are, for your past history, because they are also particular about their brand. So advantage is it ensures candidate integrity and reduces organizational risks. As I said, they are particular about their brand. So they don't want an employee to come and dent their reputation that they have built over time. Again, the limitation may be time consuming, especially when you are time constrained, because it requires compliance with data protection law. Video interview platforms, the purpose is to facilitate virtual interview. We have seen that a lot recently, but that has come to stay. Do Zoom interviews on Teams or Google Meet. That has come to stay. So often times we have pre-recorded questions for screening. It just depends on what method an organization wants to use. Advantage of video interview, it allows asynchronous evaluation and saves time for both candidate and recruiter. I personally prefer that first stage interview is virtual. So I'm not wasting your time, I'm not wasting my time. And if you're the one recruiting me, I'm not wasting your time, I'm not wasting my time. How someone performs at virtual interview, basically for me, I don't know about any other person, determines whether they're going to be invited for the next interview. So imagine I stay in Ajambat. The office is at Lekki phase 1, and I come for physical interview, and I discover that I'm not if it can proceed with me to the next level. Would it not have been better if we had had that interview? Save my time, save your time, Lagos madness traffic, and let's have a virtual then. We can take it up from there. So that's the advantage of having a virtual platform for interview. It saves time, The limitation, it lacks personal thought of live interviews, which of course we cannot rule that out. Sometimes there are some people that, just like network is throwing us in and out. So there are sometimes that some people, if network keeps throwing them in and out, they can lose balance. And we're going to judge them based on how they perform. There are some people that they would prefer that they are there physically. So what has a good side has its bad side. Gamification tool, that is also something that is useful in recruitment stage. You engage candidates in game-like scenarios to assess problem solving. The of it is that it enhances experience and reveals behavior traits in a fun, interactive way, because this person is playing, but you are checking what you are checking. So another screening. So I've looked at tools. Now screening techniques. Resume screening. So a manual of automated review of resumes is to identify candidates who meet job requirements. That's basically what we're screening CV. You know, we have spoken about ATS, but ATS, that's an automated screening. Another screening techniques that we're looking at, resume screening. That one we did manually, we've spoken about that. So best practice is to use clear job criteria. Of course, we have our JD, who we're putting out the interview, the advert. We used to take CV to see if people are going to be interviewing for job, if they meet our criteria, you know. So it focuses on relevant experience and avoid unconscious bias, because I'm basically calling you for an interview based on what's on your CV and what I am looking for. So there's no bias anyway. There's no way I didn't like your face. That's why I did not call you for interview. No, it is your CV that's calling you for interview. Then there's the structured telephone screening. So sometimes that's why it's very important that we're conscious how we talk to people over the phone. So sometimes you can just pick a call and you don't even know that they're screening you from the phone call, you know. So it's and communications. So you can just have somebody call you and have your CV from so and so. You know, they just sort of ask you a few questions. They're basically testing your communication skill, you know. Behavioral and situational questions that focuses on past behavior and hypothetical scenarios to predict future performance. So they can give you case studies, they can just give you an hypothetical situation and ask you how would you solve it. They're basically testing how you judge matter, you know. Okay. So best practice for um behavioral or situational uh screening is to use STAR method, you know. So you want the person to tell you the situation, what happened. So when what happened, what task, what did you do? You know, what was the task? Then the action, what action did you take? And when you took that action, what result? Well, we often say we use that to also answer interview questions, because when you are setting that interview questions, that's what you're looking for. So you want to see what happened and how did the person handle it and what was the result, you know. So that's best practice for behavioral techniques. Then reference check. So you reference check basically is contacting previous employers or supervisors to verify work history and performance. Best practice is to prepare specific questions related to the candidate's job responsibilities and achievements. So you want to know, because the reference that you are checking if the guy or the person can do the job they have claimed that they can do. That's why you are checking with their previous employer. So your questions should relate to what you are checking, you know. Work sample test, that's another one. So like I use work sample test, like in tech, when I want to employ a server administrator, I have them create a dummy server and manage it. So that they see how the work looks like, or you see how they're able to respond. For example, when a server breaks down, you know. So you give them a task or project to reflect job responsibilities. Best practice for this is to ensure tasks are directly related to the role and provide clear instructions. So after you have passed some stages of the interview, the last stage where we decide whether we're taking is what will give practical to do in the office. We give you what you're expected to come and do, your day-to-day job in the office to come and solve for us. So that way, you're able to really, really identify that this person, beyond preparing for interview and knowing how to wow you at interview, and you're like, wow, you got the job. You know that this person knows what he or she is doing. This person can deliver on the job. That's why you're basically doing work sample tests, so that the person can prove their work. Because AI can help somebody craft CV, help them prepare for the interview, smash the interview, and you bring them on board, and it's a different story entirely, you know. Okay, so imagine trends in screening. You've looked at screening with ATS, or looked at screening manually, or looked at the best practice, how it should be done. But there are trends too. So imagine trend in screening is artificial intelligence screening. AI powered tools. We have Rezi. Is it, yeah, Rezi? I may not remember some of the names, but there are AI powered tools now that analyze resumes, video interviews and assessment. You know, they, that is a trend that is happening. That's why I said it is when you are not upskilling, that's when AI will take your job. But if you're upskilling, you actually use AI to your own advantage, you know. So there are AI tools for that screen resumes, video interviews. Yes, Test Gorilla. That's what I was trying to remember. Test Gorilla will do video interviews for you. They'll do assessments to rank the candidates. Benefit is that it enhances efficiency and reduces bias if implemented responsibly. If implemented responsibly, not that you are using it to cheat or you're using it to probably have an advantage. If implemented well, it improves efficiency, saves your time, saves the time of everybody, and in no time you are done. And it also boosts your own performance because, of course, as HR, one of your KPI is your time to fill. And if you have a tool that's helping you fill fast, why not? Diversity and inclusion focused screening, is a tool and technique that promotes unbiased such as blind resume screening. Choose anonymized candidates. So there are tools, examples of diversity and inclusion focused screening. You might want to browse about that. It's a new trend that is emerging. So there are tools that anonymize candidates. An example is Blender. There are more of it, but I just put one example there. So what this does is it supports a more diverse and inclusive workforce. Candidate experience optimization. So the screening tools, they are designed in a way that they create positive impression on candidates, So at the last HR bootcamp, HR conference bootcamp, they spoke about some tools. Now, some organizations can they can give you a simulation. They can take you to the future using AI. They sort of, it's gamification where the way we play AI games where it's like you're in space. They can take you to the future for you to see what working in the organization look like. So that they sort of have AI that now create experience. They optimize your experience for you to see. Before you even join the organization, you have a feel of how it works. Example is chatbot for real life communication, user-friendly assessment platform. It improves employer branding and reduces candidate drop-off rates. But sometimes when some candidates have had first contact with you, it happens a lot in recruitment. They will decline and not proceed with the interview. So they drop off. What candidate experience optimization does for you is it drop off rates. Okay, challenges and consideration. Balancing automation and personalization. So while tools like ATS and AI enhances efficiency, they must be complemented by human judgment to maintain personal touch. So it's not like, okay, AI has interviewed for you, ATS has screened the CV for you, AI has interviewed for you, and that's it. No. You must also still, it's just like it reduces your workload. It reduces, if you were going to make judgment on like 100 CV, for example, when you have used ATS and AI, your judgment should be made on like 20, 30, 50, depending on your criteria or how you have set it. So basically reduces the time you spend doing a particular task. It's not that it's taking away the human judgment from it. There must be a balance. We must balance automation and personalization. It's very important. Those are the challenges. Okay, we're saying that these are emerging trends that we should start thinking of using, we should start thinking of buying into. And here I am again saying balancing. Do you get? So those are the challenges and what we should consider. The challenge is that you should also put a human touch to it. So and the consideration is that you're putting a human touch, but you're not just leaving it entirely to not to have human touch. You're still putting a human touch to it. And why are we doing that? Because again, we want to avoid bias. And in avoiding bias, tools and techniques should be regularly audited to ensure fairness and compliance with diversity goals. That's why we as human beings, yes, we have automated, we have set the criteria, but we continuously review those things. We audit it to see, does it make sense as a goal, so that we're able to ensure fairness. Can avoid uh, fairness and compliance with diversity goal. Data privacy, that's another challenge because we're saying AI and ATS. I know in ChatGPT, there's a saying, there's something I read that any information that you don't want to be out there, don't put it in ChatGPT. Because the truth of the matter is the AI, they have a way of storing information and third party can access those information. Just like when you log onto some website, they give you cookies and they tell you that this website uses cookies. They use cookies because they're taking some information from to use for marketing. So in our a challenge that we should be mindful of in our automation and the use of AI is data privacy. Organizations must adhere to data privacy laws, while using screening tools. We must adhere to data privacy law. Nigeria, yes, we have a data privacy law, and we may just think Nigerian thing is not serious. Let's not pray to get into trouble, but we'll now realize that it's serious, Again, another challenge is cost versus benefit. It is important to evaluate the return on investment of advanced tools and ensure they align with organizational needs. Because if it is too expensive and your organization cannot afford it, you cannot go and invest in it now. So that's a challenge. As much as we are saying this is the evolving trend, as much as we are saying this is how things are being done now, can your organization afford it? It's a consideration. Screening tools and techniques play a pivotal role in identifying and selecting right talent during recruitment stage of employee lifecycle management. By leveraging the combination of technology and strategic methodologies, organizations can enhance the hiring efficiency, improve candidate experience, and build a strong foundation for workforce success. So what we have been saying about emerging trends, automation, AI, is basically for us to enhance our hiring efficiency, improve our candidate experience, and build a strong foundation for workforce success. Because why are we managing employee life cycle? It is because we want to build a strong workforce that is successful. Because it is when our workforce is successful, that's when we're able to deliver on our overall business objective. Yellow, I've been talking for too long. Are we still here? If your background is still noisy, drop me a chat. I'd like to know that we are still here.
Yes.
Okay. Look at me. Hi, Juliet. Okay, so we'll be here for long. I want us to just take a 3 minutes break. This really matters. I want to drink water. My throat is dry. So if you are sitting down, please just don't. If you want to take water. Then after 3 minutes, I don't want it to be done with this class in exactly 2 hours. So in 5 minutes, that's by 5:30, we're back to continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
told you, send me back your account. Let me want your money. Right now, I send you your account number. I am going to refund. Okay, so get the sequence of the message. I told you I was going to find out how to arrange to send the t-shirt to you. You sent me a hello. Pick up a location that you could arrange for somebody to pick it. Yeah, isn't that what you said? What are you talking about? I don't think you're all right. Whether you're a man or a woman, I don't think you're all right. Hello, I'm back. Are we here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. It's one person I've heard though. Are we still in the noise background? Drop me a chat. I'd like to know that. Because the class is not large now. I expect all of us to, be hearing ourselves and be talking to ourselves.
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so we're basically looking at the stages of employee life cycle management and, skills, the techniques for implementation and some of the strategies that we should be looking at that makes implementation easy for us, right? Okay, Aisha, yes. So again, like I said, this is for the purpose of this presentation. Every of these templates, they are not cast on stone. They are something I work with or something I just developed. You could, in fact, if you just go online, you will see plenty. So I'll be dropping these templates on the WhatsApp group for you to download. For you to, you can have it as it is in the slide. So normally at onboarding stage, we just do onboarding. Okay, let's even talk. How do you do onboarding in your organization? Are you in any way where you can, anybody that can talk? I understand that if you want to drop a chat, it'll be too long to type. Okay. So your organization, what's your onboarding like? Or the onboarding that you have experienced or that you have been part of? How was it run? Was it just onboarding 1 week, 1 month? How was it?
Okay. Can I go ahead and talk?
Yes.
Okay. So for the one I did, the one they did for me in my organization where I work, it was just for a day. So they just introduced me to the other people in the office and then did a brief introduction on the core values of the firm. So it was just a day. But I have a friend who said in our own organization, their own onboarding is always a week. And they even like give them food, free food on the first day. And then they take them to other branches of the organization too within that 1 week. And then they also do like their medicals too within that 1 week. That 1 week, the first week of onboarding. And then they will assign like a body to the person
But it's only for 1 week.
for 1 week, yes.
Any other person? Okay, so the reason why I ask is we are used to doing onboarding 1 day, 1 week. The very first organization I worked with in 2010, the orientation they gave to me was 1 week. So today I went to HR, tomorrow I went to finance, next tomorrow I went to IT, listen. So you just basically work 1 day around the organization, and that is. And don't forget that we said onboarding is the process of telling people this is our culture. Now you have told people this is your culture, and you just tell them this is our culture, and that's it. They should just go. They should start carrying out the culture. Then we say people are doing this, people are doing that. We are used to just bringing people on board and just tell them do this, and that's the end of it. But ideally, in a standardized way, or this standardized now, the more ideal way is to help people settle into their role, help people to get used to the organization. Then they can now start finding their way around it. I remember I once joined an organization and all they did was show me around all the offices, took me to the kitchen, took me And trust me, by the following day, I did not remember which office was the IT, you know. So we just bring people to a new environment and 1 week and we just expect them to get used to everything. So here is a checklist, an ideal checklist. Ideal because sometimes you have these things in place, but you do not have an ideal environment to implement them. A case study of OMBs. I've worked in OMBs a lot, so you have great plans. You know what to do. You know how to do your job or the environmental management. The onboarding stage does not end at first 1 week of work. It doesn't end at first day. It doesn't end. It takes about 90 days. That is an onboarding checklist template. It details the step for pre-boarding, first day, and up to the first 90 days of work. Because again, we make so much noise about onboarding, we seem to forget about pre-boarding. Pre-boarding is embedded in our onboarding, right? Now, the whole idea of having an onboarding checklist is to ensure a seamless and effective transition of new hires because it outlines detailed steps for pre-boarding, the first day, and the first 90 days to integrate new employees into your organization. Dr. Liemi has, I think there was a topic he took, your first 90 days at work. So they matter because this is you that they are either putting on 3 months probation or 6 months probation. They want to test, they want to evaluate you. Nobody cares whether you have even gotten a hang of the organization they want to evaluate your performance in. So why they want to evaluate your performance? They should actually be helping you to also integrate, helping you to know that, okay, you're teachable, you're somebody that learns, you know. That's the whole idea. An ideal onboarding stage should start from before you join, like from when they give you an offer, up until the first 3 months of you working. But sometimes we don't even have the time, but most organizations still do this. It's not like they're pampering you for the 3 months, they just do check-ins, you know. So here is a template, sort of, for you to see how it works from pre-boarding up until the first 90 days of work. So before the first day, that's pre-boarding. We have the administrative preparation where you're setting up the work tools. You send offer letters, you know, for the person to sign. The person confirms date. You provide a welcome email with company information, you know, complete background checks and reference verification. Again, we do background checks after somebody has started working, after the person, we want to either do confirmation for the person. We are going to do background check. The background check you are checking is for you to see if the person can sabotage your company, right? And this is somebody that has worked for your organization 3 months, 6 months. You're going to do background check. If the person wanted to sabotage your organization, the person would have sabotaged it now. You know? So basically, we need to get back to the drawing board and start doing some of these things right. For those of us that have the privilege of knowing, some of us used to practice it like that because that was how we met it. But come to think of it, why am I doing background check? I want to see if this person has a bad record, if this person did the job they said they were doing, why this person left this organization. I am not even big on why somebody left an organization. What if the organization was toxic? But why we are doing background check is because we want to see if this person is a potential harm to the organization, right? But you have kept this person in your organization 3 months, 6 months. You want to confirm the person, you're not doing background check. So are you now going to say you're not confirming the person based on what you found out in the background check that you did? So background check should actually be a pre-boarding process. Before you bring the person into the organization, you are checking to see if the person has anything that you don't want in your organization. Those are pre-boarding steps, you know. Then you set up payroll and benefit enrollment, where you send forms to the person to because you pay the person at the end of 1 month now. Then workplace setup. All these are pre-boarding. You set up the workplace, assign a workplace or virtual setup. You order and set up necessary equipment, computer, phones, headset, anything that the person needs to work with. You arrange office supplies of software access as required. You know, everything that is required for the person to function in the office. You prepare them. Those are pre-boarding stages before the person comes. You have access tools, you create email and IT account, you grant access to required system tools and platforms, you share login credentials securely. Then introduction and communication, you are sharing company directory and organizational chart, you notify team members and relevant departments of the new hire, assign a mentor and onboarding body. This is not common, but it's very, very interesting to do. So I once worked somewhere where I had a body. My body checks up on me every day. I'm not putting tomorrow. I'm no longer in the organization. My next job was a contact from my body, but she had gone to Canada. As in, we became friends. I don't know if you're a member of AHRP. They also assign you a body when you're joining them, checks up on you, to ensure that they bring you fulfill all the processes you are required for them to bring you to the platform. So that's pre-boarding, right? So now, the first 5 days onboarding stage. So there's no stage that is like pre-boarding on its own. Pre-boarding is part of the whole onboarding stage. So now we have done all the people, just run us through the checklist of what we expected to do when we're paying for somebody to come on board. Then the first 5 days, we want to schedule a welcome meeting or orientation session, prepare a detailed agenda for the week, tell the person what the person is expected to do for the week, send calendar invites for key onboarding sessions or training. At least we have a schedule that, okay, maybe I'm going to be having a training at 2 p.m. on Monday, so time on Tuesday. You already schedule that and send a calendar agenda to the person. The person just, there's a way you send calendar agenda and you just save it on your Google or on your email and it saves on your calendar, So you're helping the person set itinerary. Then all these are pre-boarding. Then first day, welcome, of course, out of the first 5 days preparation, you're welcoming the person the first day, get to introduce them, to take them on a tour around your office, get to introduce them to, and even if it's virtual, you could also do that virtually. You could do a virtual tour with the person. You introduce the new hire to the team and key stakeholders, provide a auditing of their MDCEO, welcoming the employee on that day. You could have that in place if, of course, the Oga at the top is not around to welcome the person. Provide an overview of company mission, value, and culture. Then, of course, the administrative task, collect and verify necessary documents, review benefit enrollment options and deadlines, complete new hire paperwork. Tools and technology setup. Those are the first few days, job specific training, review the job description and initial goal, provide access to key resources, files and guides. I'm just basically running us through. Is a template. I will drop it on the WhatsApp group. First week, that's day 2, the woman's expectation, and like that. First 30 days. Now, this is, all that we've been saying will take you through the first maybe 1 to 10 days, let's say like 2 weeks. Then the first 30 days, deep thorough familiarization. So you shadow team members or cross-functional partners, attend relevant team and departmental meetings, you complete advanced role-specific training, cultural integration, you encourage participation in company events or activities. You have taught the person how you do things. You have taught the person the company culture. Now, if you want to encourage the person to join in what the organization is doing, it's one thing to tell the person this is how we do it. It's another thing to ensure that the person does it. That's basically what we are doing within the first 30 days. The first 5 to 10 days, 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how we are doing it, we are familiarizing the person with the system, up until into the other days, we want to ensure that the person is getting familiarized with what you have told the person. That's basically what you're doing. you're checking cultural integration, is the person integrating properly, feedback and support. You schedule a one-on-one check-in with the manager, the line manager, this person has a line manager, or the colleague, or whoever the person is working with. You gather feedback on your body and experience. Ask the person, how does the person feel? What does the person think? If the person has any challenges based on what you guys spoke about, you want to address the challenges or the gap in the training. Then that takes us to the first 60 days. All this is taking you through the first 30 days. The first 60 days, you want to check how the person gets involved in projects in the organization. You want to check skill development. You want to identify additional training or upskilling opportunity. In our employee lifecycle management, we have said when we attract talent, recruit them and onboard them, we need to train them. So all these are happening within the first to the 90 days. After you brought somebody, of course, you're going to train the person now. We train the person to know, even though the person is coming with skills and experience, we want to train the person how to do things. So of course, the first 60 days, you are doing skill development, then you have a midpoint review, conduct formal check-in with the manager, discuss progress towards goal, and adjust as needed. So if the person needs to adjust, let the person know. And if you need to adjust your onboarding process, also adjust your onboarding process. Onboarding is always is continuous development. You can think you have done something well, then you want to check from the feedback you're getting, you want to check, okay, you keep improving on your onboarding process, basically. So the development stage. If you remember, what we're looking at is we're taking a deeper dive into employee lifecycle management from attraction up until separation. So right now we are at development stage. If you remember the stages of employee lifecycle management. So right now, the developmental stage, I've mentioned it before. For you at the developmental stage, you are doing training and analysis. You use to identify skill gaps so that you are able to curate training for the people that you have brought on board. Then, of course, from your developmental stage, you also have a career development plan. You create goals like growth pathway. Like in 3 months, this is what you want the person to have gone. In 6 months, this is what you want you have the person to go. Like we said, developmental stage is important to your retention. Because when people feel that they are not growing, they are not going to have job satisfaction. That's why I spoke about theories that relate to employee lifecycle management. We'll look at that in a bit. So retention stage, of course, you want to do engagement survey. Again, you have to create templates, a lot of templates that you can get. The templates will be collecting actionable feedback, benefit optimization guide. Okay, I know how engaged this person is. The feedback you get determines your next initiative. Basically, what we are doing all this is to guide our HR initiatives. Benefit optimization guide. We want to review trends in employee perks and well-being. What are organizations doing? What is your industry doing? What's the new thing? What is the perks what's the in thing in your organization? You want to find that, basically. So separation stage, we spoke about this yesterday. You also need your interview template would extract insight from organizational improvements. Why you're doing exit interview is because you want to know where your organization needs to improve. So you have your interview exit interview template should have insights that extracts useful information for your organizational improvement. Onboarding checklist, you have to take steps to maintain positive relationship, like we spoke yesterday. Post-employment is not fight. Even husband and wife, when they divorce, split up. So your onboarding checklist, again, you want to go. So I have a checklist for onboarding here. I also drop that in the platform. So you want to have employee. So I'm dropping 3 things. So you want to have employee onboarding checklist, and what your employee onboarding checklist should contain should be steps to maintain a positive relationship post-employment. The whole idea of you having maintaining a positive relationship post-employment or having a checklist is to outline the key steps to ensure a smooth and professional transition for onboarding process. There's a tendency for you to skip a step or forget something or feel something. There's a tendency for there to be an oversight, right? But if you have a checklist, you can now tick the box one after the other. Notification and acknowledgement, yes, acknowledge receipt of the resignation letter in writing. Not the one that you will say you accept the resignation. I think I mean something like somebody resigned, you'll be asking unwilling employee for a willing employee. Basically, you just confirm. What you need to do is to confirm the last day of work as per the notice period. Then you communicate internally. For some roles, right? I don't communicate until 2 days or thereabout when the person is leaving, so that it will not demoralize some people. There's some people that you have worked with, that you have built relationship with, that when you communicate that they are going, your people can break down. So in communicating internally, we also have to be sensitive about it. Notify relevant stakeholders. Of course, HR has to know, IT has to know, the team leaders know, IT has to know, so that they can deactivate what needs to be deactivated with your instruction, giving them specific time that should be done. Maintain confidentiality until official announcement is made. That's what I said. So I maintain confidentiality. People can resign in my organization without anybody knowing they are leaving until the day they are leaving, or until the day they no longer see them. Because resignation is contagious, really. You could see that people are familiar with people already, they're used to them, and when they leave, you can sort of dampen their morale. So you conduct an exit interview. That's still the offboarding checklist. Exit interview, discuss key points, reason for leaving, suggestion for improving the workplace, review of overall experience. You document feedback, because in fact, this is the whole essence, is to document feedback for your own use, for your own HR initiative development. Knowledge transfer. You assign transition tasks. You identify ongoing projects and reassign responsibilities. Document process, train a successor. Now, in this train a successor, if you have a succession plan, you really don't need to train a successor. All you need to do is onboard the successor once somebody is leaving. So you schedule knowledge sharing session with the replacement of team member. Then, of course, update administrative records, finalize payroll, benefits and insurance, tax documentation, retrieve company property, provide support for post-employment transition. Now, we don't do this. We often don't do this. You will see some people thinking because somebody is leaving, because I'm waiting for him, I will not give the person a recommendation. Why won't you give somebody a recommendation? I think there was an industrial court judgment that either a first bank staff that didn't give recommendation or something, they were slammed with charges. So of course, it's very important that you provide post-employment transition support. Like you offer a letter of recommendation or reference if appropriate. My mentor says that when somebody is leaving, that's even another thing I want to initiate. She issues certificate of exit. I never thought of it until she mentioned it. So when you are reaching her, that you are doing background check, you are telling her to give reference letter, she refers you to the certificate of exit that she has given to the person. I've never tried it, but it's something I also want to adopt as you are going, so that whether I am still in that organization or not. Okay, there's an organization I worked in. Somebody just reached me last week looking for a reference letter because, of course, the organization has left Nigeria. Do you get? So imagine if I was also not available. That guy will be stopped. So that made sense to me. I don't know. I'm just also selling it to you guys. So she says she issues certificate of exit. When you are reaching her to ask for a letter, she refers you to a certificate of exit, and if she has it, she just mails it to you. No need for any long story. Why you are giving me form to fill is for me to confirm certain things. The certificate has done that. You know, that's post-employment transition support that I'm giving to the person. To provide access to alumni network or career transition service if your organization has it. You know, then unemployment guidance. Inform the employee of any available unemployment benefit or resources. I do this. So when you're leaving, I ask you, are you going somewhere else? Like when we're having our, not when you resign, I will now call you. When we're having our offboarding, one. In fact, some people come tell me they are going somewhere else. So when are you going somewhere? And if you have not found something, I can always reach out to you that, oh, have you found something? There's this for you, there's this for you. Positive, maintain positive communication. Was it Bunyo Aisha that was saying that she's, I think she's in touch with a past employee or something. It's very important. I have disciples from everywhere I've worked. In fact, when I gave birth, when I keep telling people this is from my workplace, this is from my, I mean, but like different organizations, different colleagues, they will come to my house, you know. That's because I kept in touch. We have positive communication, whether you are working, still working in the organization or not. You know. So thank the employee, acknowledge their contribution and wish them success in the future, share with farewell announcements, send professional and positive farewell message to the team. Keep in touch, keep in touch, keep in touch. Then conduct internal review, you evaluate your boarding process, you identify improvement area. This checklist I'll post. You can find a better checklist though. This is just, it could be more than this, it could be better, it could be advanced, whichever works for you, just find one. It is important to have this checklist. It actually makes your work easy. So you're not racking your brain to remember the process or to remember what to do. You already have a checklist to guide you. To follow up post-employment. So basically, a well-structured onboarding process not only ensures smooth transition, but also leaves a lasting positive impression on departing employees by maintaining professionalism and fostering goodwill organization. And fostering goodwill, organizations can turn former employees into valuable brand ambassadors. I don't want us to spend more than 2 hours. I have another plan. Okay, so this case study, I think I'm also going to drop it on the group. That's what I was saying yesterday. I hope 2 hours will do. We will not stay more than 2 hours. Okay, so I have a case study here. We're almost done. Sorry, I'm going to spend a little bit more than 2 hours, maybe 10 minutes. So consider a scenario where a small, medium-sized enterprise in the food in the food service sector, primarily operating in urban markets. The organization is facing significant challenges in talent management. So they are struggling to attract and retain skilled employees, you know, in highly competitive markets. Highly competitive market, because that's also very important. We need to know that the market is highly competitive. So they have a turnover of 20% and is shrinking their pool of qualified candidates. The organization is at risk of operational disruption and reduced service quality. Additional internal pressures such as raising labor costs and changing consumer preference are further complicating its market position. The primary strategic objective of the organization is to overhaul its talent management approach to not only attract but also retain top talent, ensuring operational excellence and customer satisfaction. Now, what are we expected to do with this log story I'm reading? You know, we have looked at AI, automation. We may not be able to answer this in this class, you know, but let's see if we can do it. So how can technology with AI driven improve its recruitment strategy? Remember, we use ATS, we use AI to screen, and I said you also have to put a person touch to it. from what we have said, how do you think technology, because they need to act fast, their workforce, the turnover rate, 20% is a lot, and it's shrinking their qualified candidates. And these are people that need to deliver service to people. Meanwhile, their qualified talent has shrunk, right? Now, their primary objective in the organization is to overhaul the whole talent management approach to not only attract but retain top talent, ensuring operational excellence and customer satisfaction. So how can they use AI to improve their recruitment strategies? One. Then two, how can the company, there's a mistake here. How is the company expected to reduce turnover? Hello? Do we want to do this in this? The last time we treated it and put it in the board. So it's actually, it requires some brain work. So do we want to, if I say drop it on the group, you people will not drop. Okay, so do we want to give it a try? So how do you think technology with, like, we have looked at how to use AI, we have looked at using technology in our recruitment strategy and everything. So how do you think this will improve the recruitment strategy? Because if their talent pool has shrunk and they need to overhaul like ASAP, that's a lot of work, right? So how do we think AI or technology is going to improve that? I
I'm
thought
trying
Olubimi
to.
wanted to say something.
Yes, I'm looking at it from the
I know, you have to.
that you talked about the applicant tracking system. You talked about applicant tracking system. I've not used it before, so I don't know how it works. But from your lesson, I've been able to realize that with that, you can easily screen out
Okay.
these.
I will see if I can share link to some free ones. I'll check. I used to use one free one time. Then there's also a free HRIS. I'll share their link. Is it hr.my or my HR? You can check them out. There are some free ones that you can just. Okay, I used to, when I was working in some one-man businesses that would not have this thing. What I try to do is I try to lay it's actually very important. If you don't use HRIS in your office, find the free ones, see how they work. That gives you an idea. Every HRIS does the same thing. It's just the process of managing or operating it that will be different. So you can just even go online and Google free ATS. But I think I have one that I used to use. I'll check if I still remember their website.
Okay.
Okay, please
Okay.
proceed.
So from what you also said, you said it can that ATS can help analyze like job descriptions and then like source out candidates from various CVs that were sent to know the candidates that fit into the job description. Like for example, if you want to
The
recruit a
job.
finance person, yes, and then a lot of people send their CV and some of the CVs maybe they are for like HR professionals or even like maybe lawyers and all that. The tracking system will help just sieve out only those that have
Yes, because you have
um,
given it some keywords that you're looking for.
yes, yes. So, and that's one. Then you also mentioned to even that at the screening, at the resume screening too, there's some AI tools too that one can use to analyze resumes, like identify the top candidates and rank them like based on their relevance, their skills, and their experience. So I've not used these tools, but I am just saying, giving my answer from what you've taught us. So I don't know how it really works.
Mhm. That's the whole idea of
Then
this case study. I want to see whether you have used it before, if you understand the applicability of it, you know.
yeah, I've not used it before. Maybe Aisha or
Okay, so yes, I said I'm going to see if I remember the free ATS. I'm just trying to remember the things I've promised. I promised 4 things to send to the group, right? I'll send them. God help me. Okay, so who else? Oh, is Olubumi still?
no, I'm done.
But so now, yeah. the thing is, they have only spoken about how they can improve their recruitment strategies, right? So how are they expected to reduce their turnover rate? Now, this question is because we are looking at employee life cycle management. There are things that we need to do or that must be done for us to maintain our talent, for us to avoid turnover. That's why this question. So what is the company expected to do to reduce their turnover rate? Anyways, we've done past 2 hours already. Oops. Okay. So basically, Bumi is correct. Olubumi,
I want
sorry.
to understand this turnover. Is it like having to recruit more staff? Is that what you mean by turnover?
Turnover is
I don't understand.
basically exit. Those are left your organization. There's a form of
Okay,
turnover in human resources. Yes. So you might want to read up about it.
turnover.
There's a
Okay,
formula to calculate turnover. In fact, you just read about turnover, you need to understand it. It's not what we just die and just stop. Turnover basically means those that have left your organization. Turnover rate. Turnover is the same thing as attrition. Get turnover rate, you hear attrition rate, we are saying the same thing. Exit, turnover, attrition is the same thing. Okay, so moving on. I did mention that we're going to look at how co-management, yesterday I just mentioned the term and I said let's read about it. I hope you had time to read about it. It's important that you read about it because this is just a summary. So we all know Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. Human needs in 5 levels. It's represented in a pyramid like a triangle, with each level building up to the next. Build the previous one builds to the next. Individuals are motivated to build this needs sequentially. The way Abraham Maslow's position is theory is such that you cannot fulfill the one above or the one below. It has to be step by step, sequentially until it builds up to the peak. So what's the applicability of these theories to employee lifecycle management? back now. Can you confirm that you can see my screen?
No, I can't see your screen.
Okay, let me go back and go and reshare. So can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it now.
Sorry, I'm taking more than 2 hours, but we're rounding up soon. So we're looking at the applicability of Abraham Maslow's theory, right? It's applicable in our recruitment and onboarding because we are offering fair pay, which of course we have the person meet one of the first needs, safety needs through, of course, salary and incentives, it helps the person. Then safety need through secure workplace and environment benefits. Then health such as health insurance and all those things. Engagement and retention. The theory is also applicable in our engagement and retention, because it promotes social needs by fostering a collaborative and inclusive work culture, enabling team building activities, and encouraging peer relationships. Performance and development, it addresses esteem need because when somebody is able to skill up, the person feels better, like you feel that you are developing. So that also addresses esteem need because by recognizing employee achievement, providing constructive feedback, and offering opportunities for skill enhancement through training. Career progression, that supports self-actualization because, of course, the person is not stagnant, the person is moving forward. And the whole idea of why the person wants to be self-actualized is because the person wants to grow. So when there's career progression, that's leading to self-actualization. So that's by helping employees set and achieve career goals, offering challenging projects, and encouraging innovative and creativity. So by aligning workplace practices with employees' evolving needs, organization can enhance satisfaction, productivity, and loyalty through employee lifecycle management. So that is where Abraham Maslow is applicable to employee lifecycle management. Because when we look at our employee lifecycle management, we'll see that it ties together. One stage is helping to fulfill the one stage of the hierarchy, and on like that. That's how Abraham Maslow's theory ties to employee lifecycle management. Then Herzberg two-factor theory, I just spoke about it, is motivation and hygiene theory. It says that there are two categories of factors that influence workplace satisfaction and motivation. Hygiene factor, these are the extrinsic factors, e.g., salary, job security, company policies, working condition, relationship with colleagues. Their absence causes dissatisfaction, but their presence alone does not create long-lasting satisfaction or motivation. So we cannot apply only one of its two factors. It has to be both. When you are providing, so the motivator here are the intrinsic factors such as achievement, recognition, meaningful work, responsibility, and growth opportunity. These factors drive employee satisfaction and motivation when they are present. So that's how come. This is just summary. Like I did say, if you want to look at theories, that's a whole training on its own. So I just picked these two. Also to say that all these things that we are saying, they are, like I said yesterday, why I like to use theories to tie them up is maybe because I'm a behavior scientist. There are theories that have proven that this thing that we are saying, they are real. Like if I have needs to satisfy, that's why I'm working. So they tie to our employee life cycle management. So it will help sometimes if we study this theory and see how we can apply them. So it also is applied to attraction, recruiting, onboarding, engagement. All theories these theories are tied to all the things that we do in employee life cycle management. So feedback. I like to get feedback at the end of my classes because I think Olubim was trying to give a feedback yesterday and our network. Well, I think I saw the feedback on the group. So when we prepare slides, you can't load up slides with too much. It's not like, so the whole idea of the training is to open your mind to know that these things exist. You can't finish learning at a go. So at least now I'm sure there are some concepts that you're going to learn deeper or research more about. That's the whole idea. So, but that feedback is taken. So today, share your thoughts, suggestions for improvement. Sorry, I'm sorry. If I have to take a next class, we will not spend more than 2 hours. I think I've eaten into your time today. I'm so sorry about that. But I already mentioned the test. They make like is thank